weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the Purge. All other weapons are restricted. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours.
Do you guys remember a game released back in 2016 that really parallels the past couple of years quite similarly? Maybe not recently, but the things that caused the events in that game are very similar to things that have been going on the past couple of years. But let's not think about that. What's the game, you may ask? That's right, Tom Clancy's The Division. Now, I love The Division, both of them. I'm going to be talking about the series pretty much. I'm not going to talk about one game or the other. I think both are really similar. The Division 2 was pretty much just a new place, new graphics, new story, very similar gameplay, but I don't think that's a bad thing. They upgraded everything that needed to be updated, but honestly, these games are freaking amazing. To be 100% honest, I don't think these games get the love that they deserve because I played The Division when it came out. I knew it had a player base, but I don't remember a lot of people playing that game. And even The Division 2, if you look up on YouTube, like the Division 2 videos, most of them don't hit 1 million views, which means the games aren't that popular, but they're still popular in their own communities. And I am definitely part of that community. I've put hours into The Division 2. I put hours into The Division back on my PS4. I just have fond memories of this game, and even today I find myself just wanting to play a game where I can run around, do a couple missions, have some good gunplay. I love the gunplay in these games. It feels so smooth, and people don't like the bullet sponginess of it, but in my mind, it feels kind of like an MMO where you can sit there and you can farm on some people. It takes an hour to take down an outpost, but you have fun that whole hour, and it's like mini raids. And then the game even has raids. The game has expeditions. The game has a lot of stuff. I guess that's a new one, but even the Division 1 had raids, and it had certain DLCs that opened up new game modes. I remember in the Division 1, they had a game mode that was DLC called Survival. That was like the first extraction game, like the first Tarkov game I ever played. And I know it's not a game, it's a DLC, but still, it's like that kind of stuff really made the game a lot better. And even in the Division 2, there's a new manhunt every season, and sure, it's like the battle pass of it, but it adds in new gameplay. I mean, the Division 2 is a couple years old now, and they're still adding new stuff in, so people can still hop on today and play. And the game still looks amazing today, let's be honest. Both games still look great. They have aged fantastic. I'll say the character models in the first one are a little iffy, but they really updated them. They look great in the second one. Honestly, there's not a lot to say about the differences in the two games because, as I said, they're super similar, but that's a good thing. They updated what needed to be updated. The physics in the games are really fun to see when you shoot the windows and they end up chipping off like certain glass effects. That's just fun to see. I love you can run around the city and close car doors, the doors that are open, and even on the main menu you can find a little spot where it tells you how many doors you've closed. I don't know, small stuff like that. I like seeing that. There's just a lot of small stuff and big stuff that really tie you into the game. And the title, you might see the title and be like, what the heck? I think one thing that's kind of funny about The Division is it feels like I'm playing, like, if you've seen the Purge movies, it feels like a constant Purge, because what some of the people are wearing, what some of the places look like, it looks like a scene right out of one of those Purge movies. So that might be why the title's named that. I just think that it's just a funny little thing about the game. And if you don't know the story of the Division games, it's a virus that hits on Black Friday and ends up wiping out the majority of humanity. So with that, there's looters and people who try to take over what's left of America. And the military has specially trained soldiers that are like ghost soldiers, not ghost recon soldiers, because that is also a Tom Clancy, but different game line. Quick interruption here. If you guys want to see a video on all the Ubisoft games kind of being connected, I know the Division 2 isn't part of it, but I mentioned Ghost Recon, and I might make a video about Ghost Recon in the future, but I have a theory that all the Ubisoft games are connected, from Assassin's Creed to Ghost Recon to other than Division, because there are, I think, 3 games that have their own separate timelines that the events could not happen simultaneously. But games like the Rainbow Six Same universe as Assassin's Creed, which is the same universe from Watch Dogs, which is the same universe from Far Cry, and the same universe from Ghost Recon. And it just goes on. You might not believe me. I know they've said certain things about it, but if you want to see my thoughts on that, that one is a lot stronger of an opinion than my Dying Light and Dead Island video. That one's just speculation, but I truly have evidence that the Ubisoft games are connected. So that's all I want to say in this little interruption. Let me know if you want that video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's get back to it. It's like specialized soldiers that aren't in the field and they get called in, and they're the division agents, and you're a division agent, and your goal is different in both games, but you have to stop people trying to take over America, pretty much. In the second game, the story really opens up off the first game. They connected the stories really well. How I mentioned there's a manhunt every update, they add in more story with that. They add in a little bit. It's not like a whole nother storyline or campaign, it's just a little bit of extra story. Really, the reason I like the games is they feel like an MMO shooter game, and there's not much of those. I just like how Ubisoft did it. Sure, there's not a lot of players. I know it's not an MMO because you play by yourself the majority of the time unless you have someone co-op with you. It's just a fun experience. And I haven't even mentioned the Dark Zone yet. The Dark Zone is this area where everyone is harder. That's the real extraction. That's like you go in there, you find weapons that you have to get and take to an extraction point, and you have to extract it in a certain amount of time, and you have to fend off the enemies, and all the enemies are stronger. And then there's also players in that area, and the players can attack you or they can help you. So it's just like it's an extraction game. It's an extraction mini game within the Division. You can go do whenever you want, and I've always liked that too. I always try to go do Dark Zone stuff. I'm not really good at it, to be honest, but it's just fun to do. In the Division 2, they also have something called the Summit, which I devoted a lot of my time to for some reason, but it's 100 floors of a building that you clear out each floor, and it progressively gets harder and harder. You get loot and stuff, and by the top, to my knowledge, there's rogue agents. You kill them, you get some pretty cool masks, and you get some weapons. I did it all for the patch to say that I completed all 100 floors. But yeah, I don't know why. I just did it whenever I would be playing the Division and I get a little bored. I just go clear a couple floors and then turn the game off. Other than that, yeah, the game is really smooth. These videos, you might be wondering, he doesn't really mention a lot about the games themselves, about where they came from, why they're here. I don't know. I'm making these videos to tell you why I like these games. My thoughts on the games. I'm not here to explain the whole story of the game. I'm not here to explain every aspect of the game that they fixed between the first one and the second one. I'm just here to tell you what I like about the Division. I just want to say my thoughts on the game, and you might not care. You might care. Some of you like to hear my thoughts. Some of you like the style of my videos, and I appreciate that. And I just want to say thank you to the ones that have been sticking around. And I'm sorry if this isn't the video style you like, but this is the video style I'm gonna be making for a little bit. I'm sure it will change up once I get into the groove of making things, but this is my like 7th video so far, so I'm still getting my foot in the door, so you gotta stick with me here. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you agree with anything I said, let me know in the comments. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to check out BillyTheWhip.com or just Billy the Whip on any music platform. And, you know, as always, I gotta say it. Have a great day.